All right, good evening. This is going to be a quick tutorial that's going to cover the homework for tonight's question, which is the second half of the study guide. The first half you did in class today. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. You might want to refer to 5.2 and mostly 5.2, the video that I created for that to help you with these. I'm just going to go through these really quickly and kind of give you a hint for each one. So for 16, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to actually do each of these transformations. So this is going to be a reflection along the y-axis, rotation 160 degrees, reflection across the line y equals x, rotation of 60 degrees, rotation of 240 degrees. Actually, I haven't taught you these right here, so don't even worry about this problem. So just go ahead and skip that one. For 17, it says we have a square ABCD, and I went ahead and graphed the diagonal. So this is A and this is C. Okay, so it gave us the actual diagonal, which is right there, and I want you to determine the coordinates of the other diagonal. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at your sheet to look at a square, and you need to think about what the diagonals of a square are. So they're going to be perpendicular, and they're also going to be the same length. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw a line that's going to be perpendicular to this line right here, and it's going to be the same length. And so it's going to go through this point right here, and then it's going to be somewhere over here and somewhere over there. So it's really going to look like, so it's going to really go, you want to look at the slope here, the slope of this line. The slope of this line is, sorry about the shadow, I'm having to do this from my vehicle. The cleaning lady just went in the class. So the slope of this line is 1, 2 over 1. So it's positive 2. So 2 over 1. So what you got to think about slopes that are perpendicular. So it's the negative reciprocal. So you're going to do a slope of negative 1 over 2. And so that'll be, you'll draw it this way, and then it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So you're going to go, it's going to be down 4 and over 2. So it'll be, I think it'll be down 2 and over 4, either down 2 or over 4, or down 4 and over 2 to draw that way. And then you're just going to write the two points that you come up with. For 15 or 18 rather, we did a problem like this. I think it was a couple classes ago. You got a parallelogram. These are the points A, B, C. So you want to determine the point of D. And what you want to do is you want to find the slope of this from C to B. So it's 1, 2, 3, and over 1. And so what you're going to do is you're going to do the same slope here. So it's going to be, really, if you want to, you're going to have to go from A going this way. So we'll go going from B to C. It's 1 over and then 3 up. So 1 over, 1, 2, 3 up. So you'd go 1 over, 1, 2, 3 up. So your point's going to be right there. So you would just write that point right there and then connect the dots. For 19, you're given this quadrilateral, and you want to give it the most specific name. Now we know it's most specific, so that means that's going to tell us that it's going to be a parallelogram, but you want to see if it's also going to be could be a rhombus or a really, by looking at it, we know it's not going to be a square or a rectangle. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to check the slope here. We know that this is going to be congruent to that because it's a parallelogram, and so you're going to want to check the slope from A to B and check, and then you're going to compare that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and over 2, and then you're going to compare it to this. This slope right here is going to be a straight line. So we know that this, so 9 over 2, is not going to be the same slope as that, so that is not going to be a rhombus. So that will tell you the, that will give you the answer right there. It's not a rhombus. This one on the back here, you've got a quadrilateral here. We want to know the most specific name of this quadrilateral. You can probably look at this one and tell. Remember, this was one that's what kind of quadrilateral has two pairs of sides that are congruent to each other. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 1. So those two sides are congruent. Let's check these. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, those two are congruent. By looking at these, I can tell that those are not congruent to those. So those two are congruent to each other, those two are congruent to each other, and think what type of shape that is. This is one we did on 5.3. So that's 20 for 21. Referring to the previous problem, which of these is true about the diagonals of a kite? Well, that tells the answer right there, what kind of figure it is. So what's true about the diagonals? So the diagonals, if you want to just draw the diagonals in, just remember what kind of angles a kite makes. So you might want to refer to the notes from 5.3. Diagonals make certain kind of angles, and those kind of angles means that those lines are what? So think about what words here, really these two are the ones to choose from, means that it's a certain type of angles if they are this or that, okay? It's actually, this is, you're going to check, could be more than one. This one's going to be a little bit tricky because your notes actually said that this one was correct. This one is going to be no. So I want to make sure you get this one right. So that's going to be no. I'm going to leave that one blank. Leave that one blank. Diagonals bisect each other. You can draw the diagonals in and figure out that top one. All right, 22, quadrilateral leaf is a rhombus. Which statement is false? So which is not true for a rhombus? So all side lengths are equal. So remember, a rhombus, are all side lengths equal? As a hint, a square is a rhombus. So that should tell you that one. The diagonals are perpendicular. Think about a rhombus and what kind of angles are in the middle. So as a hint, they're right angles. So right angles are, hint, hint. Opposite, so that's going to be, we're still looking for the one that's false. Opposite pairs of sides have the same slope. So same slope means that they're going to be parallel. So are rhombus opposite sides parallel? Well, it's a parallelogram, so they're all going to be parallel. So if these three right here are true, then this one means this one needs to be corresponding sides are perpendicular. For a rhombus, that should give you the answer for that one. 23. Given that ABCD is a parallelogram, student wrote a proof below to show that a pair of its opposite angles are congruent. So what you want to do first is look and see, looking at the proof. So what is the reason justifying that B is congruent to D? Now, there's an answer in here that is correct, meaning why is B congruent to D? Because something, something, something is congruent, okay? Now, but that's not the most accurate answer. Remember we're either going to have on proofs, you're either going to be proving triangles congruent or parts congruent. When we're proving triangles congruent, it's always going to be side, 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 angle, side, something along those lines, the three letters. When we are proving parts congruent, it's always something, 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 something. So there's an abbreviation that we usually use. It's abbreviation for one of those. That should give it away. For number 24, last but not least, complete the following proof by filling in each statement. Remember to mark all given information on the diagram. So the way we go through these is we mark everything on the diagram first, prove and prove that this is congruent to each other, and then we fill these out. So given ABCD is a parallelogram, prove that ABE is congruent to CDE. All right, so in a parallelogram, we're going to think angles. So what are we going to need to prove these? So let's see, given. The only one statement is given. ABCD is a parallelogram, so pick out which one here is going to be the given information. AB is congruent to DC. AB is congruent to DC. We know that because these are congruent in a blank. A blank, something is congruent. Blank in a parallelogram, diagonals bisect each other. So diagonals bisect each other here, okay? So that means that, think about the term bisect. When diagonals bisect, it means something is congruent to something. So, look at these options and see which one says something is congruent to something. And it's going to be a part, so it's not going to be this one. So there's really only one to choose from there. And then DE is congruent to EB. DE is congruent to EB, so that is going to be, there's really just two left. That's going to be very similar to this one right here. These two are very similar. It's a hint. And then last but not least, side, side, side congruent. So that means it's going to be the triangle right here. And so you pick out the one where triangle is congruent to a triangle. All right, that's it. And so good luck on your test tomorrow.